Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badharayanam Sutrabhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Mavid Vishavahai Om Shanti 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 Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham. Bhagwan Shankaracharya defined Karana Shariram in verse 120. And we saw that last class. Avyaktametate trigunaihi niruktam. Tatkaranam nama shariram atmanah. Sushuptiretasya vibhakti avastha. Pralina sarvendriya buddhi vrittihi. The Maya, which was called Avyaktam, consists of three gunas. And that is called the Karana Shariram. The causal body. Causal body. The deep sleep state is the state in which the Karana Sharira is dominant. It is a state in which all the functions except prana. And as I said, thank God, prana is still there when we are sleeping. But for that, all other sense organs are resolved, are dormant. They're not gone away. They're not functioning. In this state, sarva prakara pramiti prashantihi. Bijatmana avastitihi eva buddhehe. Sushuptiretasya kila pratitihi. Kinchinna vedmiti jagat prasiddha. All knowing processes are suspended, not gone away. They are just dormant there. They are an unmanifest form. And each one of us, we experience deep sleep as I didn't know anything. We don't say that when we are asleep, because for that vritti to be active, the mind should be functioning. Mind is also not functioning. So this is actually a recollection. Upon waking up, we recall that I did not know a thing. And this is well known to everyone. This would be the experience of everyone. And then in the next two verses, the anatma topic was concluded. Dehendriya prana manoha madaya sarve vikara vishaya sukhadaya vyomadi bhutani akilam na vishwam avyakta paryantam idam hi anatma. The whole universe, the entire creation, the world that we experience, the body, senses, prana, mind, and all the objects, which are all the products of the elements, as well as the mental experiences, they are all included in anatma, the not self. So we saw that in verse 122 last week. Today, we will see one last concluding verse, 123, on the topic of anatma. See, this verse is set in what is called Vishama Vritti. Vishama Vritti means it doesn't follow any Vritti, any chandas, no meter. Anushtup chandas, Trushtup chandas, no. So it cannot be chanted as a verse. So it just has to be read as prose, that's all. And in Vivekacu Ramani, we have a few of these. Not many, few here and there. So let us read 123. Maya karyam sarvam. Maya karyam sarvam. Mahadadi deha paryantam. Mahadadi deha paryantam. Asat idamanatma tattvam. Asadidam anatma tattvam. Vidditvam marumarichika kalpam. Vidditvam marumarichika kalpam. Maya karyam sarvam. Mahadadi deha paryantam. Asadidam anatma tattvam. Vidditvam marumarichika kalpam. This shloka concludes the Anatma topic, even though it is said in Vishama Viratam. The meaning is pretty straightforward. A lot of you have been studying this for a long time, so you have some understanding of Sanskrit language also. So pretty straightforward. Maya karyam, anatma tattvam vidhi. Vidhi, understand. Anatma, the not self, is Maya and Maya karyam. Maya itself and the products of Maya. Maya is called Karana Prapancha. Prakriti, Avidya, Avyaktam, Maya, Shakti, these are all the various names that are given, and they are all synonymous. All of them, they connote only one thing, the basic matter principle. You should remember, many people mistake consciousness. This consciousness is separate from this matter. And everything else is only a modification of Maya. Whereas consciousness is Chetanam. Matter is inert, insentient. Consciousness is sentient. It is nirvikara. Therefore, consciousness should never be taken as the same as matter. Matter is anatma only. All the products of Maya, the karanam as well as the karyam, the effects. And they include what? They include the bhuta prapancha. Everything, all the elements that come from Maya and bhautika, and then the products, the elements forming the various other things, all of them. And they are also subdivided into bahya prapancha and antara prapancha. There is an outside world, the world of objects that you see very clearly. And then there are also inner things, your thoughts, etc. They are also thought modifications only. They are all products of Maya. So you should remember that. They're all anatma. So in this shloka, Bhashyakara is presenting the product of Maya in a different way. In the previous shloka, the product of Maya was presented in a particular format as Bhuta Prapancha, Bhautika Prapancha, element, elementals, Bahya Prapancha, as well as Antara, the external and internal. Now, Shankaracharya gives another format which is based on Sankhya system of philosophy. Sankhya system is very close to Vedanta. There is one crucial difference that I will highlight in a little bit, but it's very close. We draw upon Sankhya philosophy quite a lot. In Sankhya philosophy, they explain the creation in one particular way. They say Maya is the root cause, and they call it Mula Prakriti. Okay. Please pay attention to these terminology because the same terms are used. So with a little bit difference, so don't get confused. And in the context of Sankhya philosophy, some words mean a little bit different. Same words are used in Vedanta. So you just have to be a little bit careful, not unnecessarily get confused. Our Maya, what we call Maya in Vedanta, they call it by the name Mula Prakriti. We use the word Maya and Prakriti to mean the same thing in Vedanta. They make the difference. They call Maya as the Mula Prakriti. This is the Karanam, the cause. And Karyam is also, they describe differently. A little bit different. All the elements are there, but the way it is described is tad different. That's all. From Maya, the Mula Prakriti, the Karanam, the cause, the first Karyam, the product is Mahat. Mahat. It's a technical word. So Mahat means great. Okay, in common parlance, but don't bring all that. Mahat is a technical word here. The first product that comes out of Mula Prakriti, they call it as Mahat. When Maya or Prakriti has evolved slightly, it is called Mahat Tattvam. And from that, the next evolution comes, and that is called Ahankara. Once again, let me repeat, this is Sankhya terminology. Don't equate Ahankara that they have described as coming out of Mahat as Ahankara that we are used to in Vedanta. So keep this difference. Just take these terms as they are. This is how Sankhya defines. So the three, Maya, Mahat, and Ahankara. And then they say, from Ahankara, 16 tattvas categories or principles come out. This is how they explain the evolution. So, creation and evolution, this debate goes on and on. So, Sankhya philosophy is closer to that evolution. From matter, everything is coming. That is same idea. The evolution theorists, that is how they say. Only matter was there, and from that everything came, evolved little by little, and consciousness also evolved from that. That is their theory. So Sankhya philosophy is very similar to that, same lines. So they say from Maya, Mahat, and Ahankara, and from Ahankara, 16 tattvas, principles evolved. And what are they? They are Dasha Indriyani, the 10 organs. 10 organs. Jnanendriya, Karmendriya, etc. We say 10 of them. Same. It is just packaged and presented differently. Pancha Sukshma Bhutani, the 5 subtle elements. Okay? 5 subtle elements. And Manaha, the mind. So that makes it 16. 10 sense organs, 5 subtle elements, 1 mind. And in Vedanta, we go through a different route. All of them are there. They're all there. But we go from that, Maya comes first, the subtle elements. And from the 3 gunas, different things come out. And how the subtle body comes out, gross body comes out, etc. The ingredients are the same in both. Okay. But the way it is presented, just like in cooking, we use pretty much the same ingredients. But the final presentation is very different. Sometimes the mix is different. The process of cooking is different. And what comes out looks different and tastes different also. So the same ingredients are here. But they call it tattva. And then from the 5 subtle elements are born 5 gross elements. Pretty much like our subtle elements through Panchikritam becomes gross elements. Same idea. So the 16 tattvas plus the 3, Maya, Mahat, and Ahankara, that makes it 19. And then the 5 gross elements, so that make up 24. So Sankhya system talks about these 24 tattvas, Chaturvimshati tattvani in Sankhya philosophy. Of these 24, the first one, the very first one, what is that? Mula Prakriti, Maya. That is the cause. And everything else is an effect. So Karanam, Karyam. One Karanam, Maya, and the other 23, Karya. Thus totally there are 24 tattvas. All of them come under Anatma. So that is what he's saying here. Mahat Adi Deha Paryantam. Beginning from Mahat, all the effects and Maya, the cause, has been enumerated earlier. So Maya is the original cause and the effects begin from Mahat onward. So when you are listing Anatma, you have to begin with Maya. When you talk about Anatma products, you begin with Mahat. Therefore, Mahat Adi, beginning with Mahat, Mahat Tattva. Deha Paryantam, up to the physical body. All these 24 tattvas come under Anatma Tattva. Then he adds, Shankaracharya adds 2 additional notes, which are the most important part to be noted. Asat. Asat meaning mithya, false, unreal. The entire anatma is mithya. All these 24 are unreal. So from all these descriptions, it looks like the Sankhyan philosophy and Vedanta are very similar. The same terms are used, but with different meanings. Sometimes the terms are different also, but there are quite a few common terms, but with different meanings. We see Sankhya philosophy is heavily borrowed into Vedanta. Then where do we differ? Then why do we call Vedanta as a unique philosophy? So in one single word, Shankaracharya differentiates, shows the difference between Sankhya philosophy and Vedanta. What is that word? That word is asat. In Sankhya philosophy, Maya is also real. In Vedanta, Maya is asat, unreal. The uniqueness of Vedanta is matter is unreal, whereas in Sankhya philosophy, matter is also real as Brahman. That is what material scientists, they hold matter as prime. From that comes everything. So that is real for them. Similarly, Sankhya's hold Maya to be real. So they have two real entities, Brahman and Maya. So Sankhya philosophers are what? Dvaitins. When you have two real things, it is Dvaitam. So when we say Dvaitin, don't just think this Madhva philosophy, Madhvacharya philosophy. That is Dvaitam, but that is not only Dvaitam. Okay? Sankhya philosophy is Dvaitam. All major religions, Christianity, Islam, all of them are Dvaitam. Vishishta Advaita philosophy is also Dvaitam. Okay? Nyaya philosophy, Dvaitam. Vaisheshika, Dvaitam. Of course, Advaitam has to be only one. We can have many Dvaitams. So in Advaita Vedanta, all these anatma are mithya, asat. And he gives an example, Marumarichika kalpam. It's comparable to a mirage. The whole anatma is like a mirage water. Mirage is something, you experience that. You see the water from a distance. But you know it is an optical illusion. Later, once you study the science and all that, you can understand it's an optical illusion. But what you see is water from a distance. The experience is there. But when you go near, it's no water. That water that you see, experience, does not have an existence on its own. The sand heated up by sun with varying layers of density of that air, when light passes through, it gives you the impression that the water is there. It's an optical illusion. Science explains that. So, but you are experiencing it. That experience mirage is not independent, it's not real. So this entire creation, along with Maya, Maya also, Maya is great, very powerful, Maya, Shakti and all that, but that's still Anatma. That is the fundamental difference. Sankhyans hold Maya, the original Moola, to be real as Brahman. So the entire Anatma is experience, but it does not have an existence of its own. That is why Asat, it means na vidyate swayam sat yasya. That which does not have an intrinsic existence, that is called Asat. Everything, a desk for instance, is Asat. You experience a desk, all right. You utilize the desk, okay. But there is no substance as desk per se because it is nothing but wood. Wood alone. Same thing. Given these examples so many times, gold and gold ornaments, clay and pot. So all the products, they don't have an existence of their own. Mrideva Satyam, clay alone is real. Everything else is Vacharambanam, Vikaro, Namadeyam. They all have only verbal existence. They don't have substantial existence. This is the technical definition of Asat. In practical terms also, the mirage water is very tempting for appearance, but it can never quench your thirst. It can never give you fulfillment. The more you try to go near that mirage water, the more it recedes. It can never give you trupti. It can never make you complete. This creation is the same way. This world is the same way. It's like mirage. Don't go chasing after it. So extend that to the world. Anything you accomplish in this world, you will not get peace of mind or fulfillment. Just as the mirage water seemingly can quench your thirst, the worldly accomplishments are attractive, seductive, tempting. Your mind tells you, you achieve this in your life, you will be fulfilled. And when you go near what you accomplish, pleasure, that happiness, etc., they're gone. The moment you accomplish something, you're ready for what next? Been there, done that. What is next? Whether it is getting married, children, grandchildren, getting wealth in the form of a house, land, properties, becoming the president, second time, ogling for the third time, prime minister of a country. They're all tempting. When you actually have them, do not give fulfillment. Reason is they don't have a substance of their own. They're all fake. They're all mere appearance. Therefore, if you want fulfillment, you first have to turn away from anatma. Similarly, this world is wonderful from a distance. You can appreciate it. You can admire it. You can use it. You can handle it. You can move in it, with it. You do everything except one thing. Never lean over them. Never depend upon them for your emotional security. Don't depend on them. Once you know that anatma is asat, not self is unreal, that knowledge is Nitya Anitya Vastu Viveka. That is Viveka, that is discrimination. We saw that definition way back. Okay, almost a year. Come February, it will be 1 year. So, once you have that kind of a Viveka, would you be chasing after that mirage? Huh? You will develop a Vairagyam for it. So, when Viveka comes, Vairagya is natural. So, once you stop chasing the Asat Anatma, you will start Atma Vichara. You will start searching for that Sat Atma, the real Atma. Verse 124. Ata te sampravakshyami, ata te sampravakshyami, swarupam paramatmanah, swarupam paramatmanah. Yat vijnaya naro bandhat, yat vijnaya naro bandhat, muktah kaivalyam ashnute, muktah kaivalyam ashnute. Atate sampravakshyami swarupam paramatmanah. Yat vijnaya naro bandhat muktah kaivalyam ashnute. So, with shloka number 123, the Anatma topic discussion is complete. You may recall of the 7 questions in verse 49, 1 question we have answered so far. That question is, Kaha asau anatma. What is this anatma? That question has been answered. From verse 73 to 123. Now we take up the second topic. And that answers the question, Paramah Kaha Atma. What is this Paramatma? What is this Atma? We talked about Anatma, so we turn our attention now to Atma. He gives an introduction in this verse. Ata te sampravakshyami. Now, after dealing with Anatma, now I shall deal with Atma. So, Paramatmanah Swarupam Sampravakshyami. I shall clearly tell you. Vakshyami, tell you. Pravakshyami, tell you clearly. Sampravakshyami. Very, 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 very clearly tell you the nature of that Paramatma. Why? The benefit of this knowledge is yet vijnaya, having known which, when you get this knowledge, by gaining this Paramatma Jnanam, Naraha, man, all of us, Bandhat Muktaha, the human being will become free, Bandhat, from bondage. It will liberate you. This knowledge will liberate you. So among the 7 topics, this topic alone is the main topic. Atma Jnanam. What is Atma? Main topic, having known which, you will be free from all bondage. You will be liberated. The other topics are supporting topics, auxiliary subjects. The main topic is Atma Jnana. This bondage, of course, is not physical bondage. We are not physically bound by a rope or chain. You are not put in a prison. You have political freedom. You have financial freedom. You can speak out. You are protected by First Amendment. Right? You can say anything you want. Okay. Financially, you are secure. You're free. All that is there. But still, there is this mental bondage. We are not able to get rid of this raga, dvesha, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, madamatsarya, sukha, dukkha. Sukha is okay, but dukkha we have problem. All these things tightly bind us. Even if I want to give them up, I'm not able to do so. So I am under the grip. Figuratively speaking, we are bound. Therefore, this bondage is mental, psychological, emotional. Sometimes we have intellectual bondage also. And in case you are very much identified with your body, that causes its own bondage. As teenagers, one little pimple, oh my God, my life is ruined. And in old age also, a wrinkle here, one gray hair. When you get that first gray hair, sometimes it happens when you are 23, 24. Oh my God. This is the beginning of the end. Totally identified with that body. Anyway, an ajnani is imprisoned in the physical body when he looks upon himself as that small individual confined to a body. A jnani is one who has broken all such confinement. Cage example is given in Aitareya Upanishad. We'll study Aitareya also. Small Upanishad only, not very big. Interesting. I am not a small individual of the size of a body. I am consciousness which extends beyond the body. I am the all-pervading consciousness. I am a free bird that can never be caged anywhere. Nothing can belittle me, including this body. So having freed from bondage, kaivalyam ashnute. He gets moksha. Kaivalyam means moksha. Literally, kaivalya means non-duality. Eka, kevalah means only one. So kaivalya means that I am the only existent thing in the world. No second thing other than me. If at all I experience any second thing, it is not an independently existing thing. All those are only extensions of me, just as in a dream. Everything in the dream is only your mental projection. You may experience so many second things, but all those don't have an existence of their own. They're all my own glory only. All those impressions I gathered in this birth and in prior births, I get to play on the screen of dream. The dream duality is not a real duality. It does not have a separate existence. In the same way, the waking duality, the multiplicity that you see in this world, it's not independent. Only I am Kevala. Only I am there. There is no second thing to bind me. This is called freedom from bondage. So gaining this knowledge of Atma, with this Atma Jnanam, I attain this state of freedom. So Bhashyakara has introduced the Atma topic in this verse 124, and he will elaborate on this up to verse 136. So let us read verse 125. कश्चित् स्वयं नित्यम् अस्ति कश्चित् स्वयं नित्यम् अहं प्रत्ययलम्बनः अहं प्रत्ययलम्बनः अवस्थात्रयसाक्षी सन् अवस्थात्रयसाक्षी सन् पञ्चकोशविलक्षणः पञ्चकोशविलक्षणः अस्ति कश्चित् स्वयं नित्यम् अहं प्रत्ययलम्बनः अवस्थात्रयसाक्षी सन् पञ्चकोशविलक्षणः. The Shastra defines Atma as pure consciousness. Pure consciousness. It is not a part, it is not a product, it is not a property of the body. It is an independent entity. Consciousness is all pervading. It enlivens all other anatma vastu like the body, mind, etc. Consciousness, Atma, is not confined by the boundaries of the body. And it will survive the death of the body also. Only problem is that consciousness cannot transact any business in the absence of body. So for it to act, for it to express itself, you should not even use the word act, interact and all that. For it to express itself, it needs a medium. That anatma is needed. This is how the Shastra looks upon Atma or consciousness. It is this independent Atma, the consciousness, that Bhashyakara will be talking about from various standpoints. So he says, Kaschit asti. There is something. Kaschit. Something. Asti is there. And that is called consciousness. He doesn't call it consciousness here. He just says, something is there. Something is there. What is that? Swayam. Existing on its own. Not depending on anything or anyone. It's independent. And therefore it is real. That which does not have an existence of its own, it's not real. So if something is there, independent, that is reality. That kaschit, that something, that is independent. It is nityam, eternal. And when he said nityam, eternal, clearly he is not talking about this body. Everybody knows this body is anityam. So he would not have, he is not talking about the body, something other than the body. Something that is eternally present, that is consciousness. He will mention that word later on, but right now he has not mentioned that. Something that is ever present in the body. How do you recognize that? Which word is ideal to represent consciousness? He says, aham pratyaya lambanaha. The most unique word useful to indicate consciousness is aham, I. It's a very beautiful idea. If you analyze the word I is a conscious being. All other words can represent only inert things. A table, a chair, a pen, a book, any other word you use, they all represent inert objects. But when you say I, the word I, Immediately you're conscious, you're a conscious being. No inert thing will say I. Table doesn't say I am a table. It doesn't say that. Therefore, wherever there is a conscious being, the other way around is not true. Wherever there is a conscious being, I'm not saying I is used. A tree is there, animals are there, they have consciousness is there for them, but they do not use the language at all. Therefore, it is not said that all conscious beings use I. Wherever I word is used, there definitely is a conscious being. Therefore, best word to indicate that is aham, I. Wherever the word I is used, it is possible only when consciousness is there. So the primary meaning of aham, I, is consciousness. The problem is when I use the word I, not only it refers to the consciousness, it also refers to all things associated with consciousness. We invariably fall into that trap. What are the other things? Mind is there, body is there. In our ignorance, we use the word I to refer to all of them also. Therefore, what happens is, instead of I referring to pure consciousness alone, quite often it refers to the mixture of consciousness and inert things. So the word primarily that should be used for consciousness is used to refer to the mixture of consciousness and the body. And then the body becomes important. Then consciousness becomes secondary. Or sometimes we even forget the fact that there is this independent conscious principle. Of course, these are not taking place very gradually, not that first I started using it for consciousness and slowly extended it to others. Not like that. Yeah. We are born with that ignorance. Our very birth is because of that ignorance. Anyway, aham pratyaya lambanaha. There is something called consciousness which is revealed by this word, pratyaya aham. So consciousness is the object of I thought and also the I word. What does this consciousness do? Avastha traya sakshi san. Consciousness is the illuminator of all the three states of experience. The waking state is in which the mind is fully active, the dream state in which mind is partially active, and the deep sleep state where the mind is passive. Therefore, the fully active mind is Jagrada Avastha, partially active mind is Swapna Avastha, fully passive mind is Sushupti Avastha. In all three states, the awareness is there, illumining these states. Therefore, Atma can be defined as Avastatraya Sakshi, the witness of the three states of experience, illuminate of the three states. And of course, as it is the illuminator, it is free or different from whatever it illumines. Therefore, Atma does not have Jagrada Avastha, Atma does not have Swapna Avastha, Atma does not have Sushupti. It is just a witness of all that. It is separate from that. All these avasthas, states of experience, belongs to the mind. Therefore, mind is fully active, partially active, or passive. Atma never becomes active Atma or passive Atma. It just illumines an active mind. It illumines a passive mind also. But by itself, it's not active or passive. Atma is the subject. So Atma will be not be subject to vikaras. Later we will see Atma is free from all types of modifications, and therefore does not have any of these states. Therefore, if you feel dull in this class, that does not belong to the Atma. Dullness belongs to your mind. So, avasthatraya sakshi san panchakosha vilakshana. Different from the 3 states of experience and the 5 layers of personality. We've seen all that. Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya. He will again explain all these 5 koshas elaborately. Therefore, no need to go into the details now. So the Panchakosha is another name for Shariratraya. Same Panchakoshas regrouped into 3 is Shariratraya. So every word is important here. Asti, it exists. Satswarupa, Kaschit, something inexplicable, indescribable. Swayam, self-existent, independent, Nityam, eternal. Aham pratyayalambanaha, support of Vaita, support of everything, because only when aham vritti is there, everything else can be there. Avastatraya sakshi panchakosha vilakshanaha. So pay attention to all these words. When you get a chance, read through this, especially the last paragraph where I have listed all these words. All are important definitions. You should have a good handle on that. See what they are and understand what they mean. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.